and welcome to The Magic of Neuroplasticity. I'm Samantha of Learning Success, and I'll be your host for this video series. Scientists used to think that the brain did not change. Fortunately, that has been absolutely disproven. Unfortunately, the belief still seems to hang around. And it is a terrible and very damaging belief. This video is part of an initiative to try and dispel that belief so that today's children will have a brighter future. In this series, we present stories from people who have actually seen neuroplasticity in action. In this video, we have Jared Featherstone. Jared is the director of the Writing Center and an associate professor in the School of Writing, Rhetoric, and Technical Communications at James Madison University. He is a certified mindfulness meditation teacher for emerging adults through the Center of Koru Mindfulness. Studying with a variety of renowned teachers, Featherstone has over 20 years of experience practicing mindfulness, meditation, Tai Chi, Koan, and Qigong. In this video, Jared talks about his observations on mindfulness based on learning interventions in enhancing cognitive skills.
My experience with neuroplasticity has been in the mindfulness-based learning interventions that I have been introducing into university classes. So these are a combination of reflective writing and a mindfulness practice, and we do this from the very beginning of the semester all the way over the 15-week course to see if we can see enhancements in learning, critical thinking, patterns of behavior in students. So there are three main ways that I've been measuring this change in students over the course of a semester. One of those is in the reflective writing of the students. So immediately following the mindfulness intervention, they engage in a reflective writing process, and I've been collecting those, and so I've examined well over 700 entries from students to see what discernible patterns there are. A second way is in the subsequent assignments of the course. So there's other assignments that are not asking them to reflect directly on their experience, but that may be asking them to examine or analyze course content in some way. So I was looking at those assignments to see if changes manifest in other assignments. And then thirdly, I'm looking at behavioral changes. So the most obvious and regular one of these would be if we do a mindfulness practice at the beginning of a class meeting. In the beginning of the semester, there's great discomfort in the room, there's fidgeting, there's perhaps grabbing phones. And then as the semester goes on, you see this habitual, this developing of habit, this change in familiarity really with relaxing and focusing quickly. And so this kind of 1 to 3 minute practice, by mid-semester I can see a very direct, a very discernible change in the way students respond to that practice. The sort of before and after is very clear that there is a relaxation and focus that happens over the course of that practice. And then by the end, it's just habitual. They're able to get into that state and go through the practice with a sense of familiarity, with even kind of looking forward to and expecting that this is what we're going to do, and these are the results they're going to see. There are three main sort of patterns I've seen in change over the course of the semester. And again, these are from those sources of the reflective writing, the assignments, and behavioral changes, contributions to class discussion. So the first of those is a move away from what I would call binary thinking. They come in with a very black or white, yes, no kind of way of thinking about aspects of the course content, perhaps current events or political issues, their own personal beliefs. And then over the course of the semester, as this mindfulness-based learning practice continues, I see a move away from that to kind of a detachment from those initial views and a willingness to weigh and consider other ways of thinking that kind of grows over the course of the semester. So we end the semester with a way of thinking that's less binary, that's more open to subtlety. So not just yes, no, but yes, but, or somewhere in between. A second pattern of change that I've noticed is in the habits related to technology. So students regularly have at least one, perhaps as many as 3 or 4 devices with them most of the time, laptops, smartphones, tablets. And they usually begin the semester with a very strong attachment to those and unexamined habits of use. So they don't even realize how many times they're picking it up, checking it while working on course assignments or even during class. As they engage in the practices and the self-reflection, I notice that the awareness, even without direct prompting, the awareness of their habits and patterns of use arise, and they just sort of notice, oh, I didn't realize how often I checked my phone during class or when I'm working on an assignment. And then reliably there is a move after the awareness toward a kind of self-regulation in which students begin to change their habits. It's not usually a complete abstaining. They don't throw away their phones or anything, but they become more aware and realize that they can regulate that behavior. So it may be that they put the phone in another room while they're working on an assignment or an essay. It may be that they use some of the features that they hadn't used before. So the downtime feature or something that enables them to not be distracted by the phone. A final pattern that I have noticed is kind of goes beyond the classroom, where students will become aware through the reflection and mindfulness-based practices that of patterns in their social lives, in their the sort of trajectory of their academic life, that places where they've felt stuck or unhappy, they've kind of become keenly aware of those. And they've started to, as the semester goes on, I see a change in which they're starting to consider other ways of looking at it, other perspectives, and then eventually they move toward other choices. So I frequently see students change their major or leave an organization or join an organization or start some kind of new practice or habit or exercise or change in their friend group or some kind of change that results from that level of reflection over the course of the semester. So basically, with a mindfulness-based learning intervention, I see a more dramatic change than I typically do in a university course over the length of one semester. So it seems quite likely that since mindfulness in many clinical trials has shown to increase gray matter in the brain or cause other changes in neural pathways, that the changes that I'm witnessing as an instructor very likely have correlation to neurological change, neuroplasticity.
Thank you, Jared. We certainly have a lot to learn from mindfulness practice. We hope this inspires you to make the most of your own and your child's cognitive development, because brains do change, and those that continually work to improve their own brain can reap tremendous rewards. You are not stuck with the brain you were born with. If you found this video helpful, please share it and use the hashtag MON for the magic of neuroplasticity. Thanks for watching and sharing. In case no one has told you yet today, the fact that you are watching this means you're an amazing parent. I appreciate you for showing up and doing the work it takes to embrace your child's brilliance and unleash their true potential.